We are back with you live once again on another Johnny Torch live broadcast. Welcome in once again. Kind of an extended opening here, but I wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in line, all my ducks in order. Welcome to another wonderful broadcast here on a nice, hot, sunny Saturday here, late in summer. The only way to spend your Saturday here with us on the Johnny Torch Live program. It's been a couple of days since we got a broadcast out. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see Blue Beetle, which is what I was intending to do this week and do a review. I'm probably not going to be able to see it again next week. I hope it's still up the week after that for me to actually see it. By then, nobody will care. Apparently, not too many people care now. It seems like it's not doing very well from what I heard. I didn't listen to too many reviews about it. I don't suppose there's a lot of spoilers that could go along with that film, but I think the only thing I would wonder is if Ted Kord makes a cameo, which from what I can figure out, he probably doesn't. But anyway, I digress. Today we are going to celebrate all things Bullets Bourbon. I always like to do a little celebration party for a book when it comes out. And the book in question we're going to be talking about is Man of Our Times, casebook number 11 in the Bullets Bourbon saga. We'll get to talking about that in more in detail in a minute. We got a few other things to do, all basically revolving around the issue. But we've got a couple of other things to address, and we're going to do that as well this afternoon. And be sure you like, share, and subscribe. Do all those wonderful things that you are always encouraged to do for any YouTube channel that you may like and appreciate. First off, we have, let's see, we've got a mailbag segment. I haven't done a mailbag segment in a long time. And I figured even though this was a comic show today, we would still do it. We would still do the, let's see. I don't know why they made it so difficult to get images up. All right, there we go. There's our mailbag segment. I got to get a video as our mailbag song to sort of get us into doing our mailbag segment. But we did get some comments on videos in the past couple of months, and we are going to read them off now, as I always do. These are from a month ago, it says. First up, we have Rick Perry 8743. 1 month ago, in my Wonder Woman retrospective / review, leaves the comment, "In her satin tights, fighting for her rights." I think this is in opposition or whatever of my comment in the video where I give the line of the song, in her satin tights fighting for our rights. Now, in the song in season 2, he does sing fighting for our rights. So I'm not mistaken about how that lyric goes. But I think in the first season he does sing in her satin tights fighting for her rights. So you're not mistaken either. We both heard different versions, I guess, in our heads when we were singing it. But thank you for the comment, Rick Perry 8743. And I'm glad that's very popular, that Wonder Woman retrospective. I've got to do some more of those review/retrospectives. They're very time consuming, but very rewarding in a sense because a lot of people like them. We did a review a month ago on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and one of our friends, Bilbo Baggins 9451, left this comment. I thought the movie was fine. Not bad, not great, but fine. It's my third favorite indie film. Not too big of a fan of Crystal Skull or Temple of Doom. I don't hate them, but I do have my problems with them. Well, thank you for the comment, Bilbo Baggins, on our Dial of Destiny review. Again, going back to that video, going back to that review, to that film, I still feel like it's the least of the Indiana Jones films, and I think in a sense it's by design, because there was sort of a restraint put on Indiana Jones in that film, that you really couldn't do too much with him, and they did as much as they could, so I don't really fault them too badly. I just felt like they could have done a little more. They could have maybe given Harrison Ford a little more action. They could have maybe shown him being a little more clever. They could have shown at the end maybe him not being so defeatist. But again, I don't feel like it was an unmitigated disaster. I do feel Crystal Skull is the better film. But again, thank you for the comment, Bilbo Baggins. And everybody, like I said, I'm always welcoming of comments. And I read them all as much as possible. Sometimes some of them slip through the cracks. And I realize that YouTube's comment section is not very reliable. I don't get notifications all that often. Sometimes I'll go and I'll look up the comments, and they don't give me the comments. I have to go straight to the video. So if I miss it when you originally post it and I see it later, I'll still try to read it. But sometimes I'll miss it and I'll have to go to the video itself, which I rarely do. I kind of try to save that because I don't think they differentiate when you look at your own video and when somebody else is looking at it. So if I look at a video 3 times, I have to realize that that's 3 more views that I can't count somebody else has done. And so I try not to mess it up like that too much. But eventually, when a video gets old enough, I kind of go back to it once in a while and rewatch it. But I'm talking about, early on. All right, next up, Henry Mockingbird has subscribed to the channel. We thank you, Henry. And I looked at his channel, and I've subbed to it as well. And remember, I'll always sub back to a subscriber if you have an active YouTube channel. I mean, if you just are in it to watch other people's videos, that's fine, but I probably won't subscribe to you unless I see some videos on your channel. And of course, they have to be, acceptable by my standards. But Henry has done a channel. I think it's going to be reviewing movies and so forth. So I suggest everybody check it out. Henry Mockingbird 9645. Thank you for subscribing to the Johnny Torch program and checking us out. And we have one more video here. One more review, one more comment on a review video I did. And it came in just 5 minutes before the broadcast, so I had to write it down quickly. It was in Russian. And as Justin Hammer famously said, I don't speak Russian. So I had to look this up in a translator. So the translation might be a little off. And excuse me if it is, but it's from a lady, I'm going to assume, named Larissa Tizewitz. And she says, thank you for scattering at least. And a little black heart at the end of that. So Larissa, I'm not sure I understand exactly what you were saying, but thank you for the comment. Thank you for watching the video. And this, of course, was on the video Phantom of the Opera, which is, again, a very popular video. A popular review I did for the 1941 Claude Rains version of Phantom of the Opera, which, again, I got to do some Halloween videos again. I liked doing that, and I did like about, I don't know, a season and a half worth before I ended up giving it up. But maybe I'll look at a few Halloween, Universal horror films this October, as I want to do. I always go over the canon of Universal and watch them over and over again. And I'm pretty sure I'll be having some thoughts on a couple of them. So I might do another video. I don't want to commit to anything because every year I say I'm going to do another one and I don't. But I'll at least give it a well thought out look, and hopefully I can do a video review on one or two Universal movies this year. And not only Universal, but like I like the Hammer films as well. I mean, some of them. I like the earlier ones. When they started dragging into the 70s, I kind of like, it could have ended, their reign could have ended a little earlier than they did. But for all intents, those early ones were very good. So thank you all for checking us out. The mailbag segment. All right. Next up, before we talk about the book proper, let us talk about, let's see here again. It takes me about 5 minutes to try to get an image up. Let's see. We're going to talk about the Johnny Torch Delusions of Grandeur appearance tour for the fall of 2023. Now, these are appearances that they're not going to be at Comic-Cons. So they're going to be more like craft fairs and things like that. I'm just going to put you wise to that right now, because I did sign up for a Comic-Con this year that I thought would be reasonably priced. I'm trying to find places where the table fee will not be exuberant. Like, for instance, I wanted to go back to Plastic City Comic-Con this year. The price and the traveling cost is going to be like too much to really make it worth my while. I'm trying to find places where I can go that are not going to be too far out of my sphere. I'm not going to have to travel an hour plus. And I'm trying to find table fees that are, below $70, below $60, if possible. So that's why I've chosen these. And hopefully, there will still be enough comic fans coming out to check us out at these locations. Now, we're going to start off with the Waltham Holiday Fair. Now, this will be Saturday, November 18th from 12 in the afternoon to 5 in the evening. This will be at the VFW at Totten Pond Road. And again, I should have put these on my website by now, and I'm just kind of a little behind doing that, but you will find these on my website if you can't memorize and write down every single word. Of course, you can always rewind the video and write these down. But Waltham, Massachusetts, yes, we're going to be in Massachusetts at the VFW, and we're hopefully going to have a good crowd there. This is going to be like 3 Saturdays in a row around Thanksgiving. Now, Thanksgiving weekend, after you've had your turkey and leftovers and celebrated, the next Saturday will be November 25th, and we'll be there at the Winter Holiday Stroll Fair in St. Patrick's Church Gym, 29 Spring Street. And we will be there from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. That's a late show. I like a late show because I'm a night owl, so I prefer that. But I'm really excited about this one because the Holiday Stroll is a very fun thing they do in Nashua. I don't know if I mentioned that, Nashua, New Hampshire. And in Nashua, they close off the road and they basically have a whole Main Street carnival. And it's late November, so in New England it's very cold. And then you go into the shops and businesses to warm up. And of course, you can spend some money getting ready for Christmas. And in this case, you could do that buying Bullets Bourbon comics. So check out the Winter Holiday Stroll Fair, and we will see you there. And then we have our final one. And of course, I'm keeping the possibility open that maybe we might add 1 or 2 more to this. But This is probably the last one because I don't want to work too far into December, because December is always hectic for me. So I don't really like to get too many dates in December. But we've got the 8th annual Nashua Holiday Fair. Now, again, we're going to stick to Nashua for this one, but the Hunt Memorial Library on Main Street in Nashua, New Hampshire, will be there from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And again, this is a library, so I think this will probably be a good place to try to get some people who are interested in comics, interested in books. Where else to go but then a library? So again, we've got 2 dates in Nashua, 1 date in Waltham. So if you're in any of the surrounding areas there, come out and see yours truly for the Delusions of Grandeur Comic-Con Johnny Torch 2023 tour. And again, we'll have all our books, all 11. We've got the first one, which is It's Always Something. We've got 2 more issues left, 2 more copies of the original printing, and that is going away. We are not going to be making any more. That is the original way it was presented, the first issue, with the hand coloring and the hand lettering, and it was very rustic looking, and a lot of people buy it and a lot of people appreciate it. But I'm going to just be offering the remastered version after those 2 sell out. So there's 2 more left, and I imagine they will sell out in the Waltham Holiday Fair November 18th. So you probably should make it to that one, because that's your best chance of getting that if you're really interested in being the serious collector and you want to get the original version. We still have a couple of original versions of Knock on Wood, which is the 2nd issue. We've got that remastered, and we've got it in one collection as a trade. That'll be available there. We got the prices on the bottom of the screen of what you can expect. Of course, I might do an impromptu sale. Sometimes I'm known for doing that. And of course, we've got When the Night Comes, which, again, this is a little bit more expensive because it's 3 issues in one, but we've got the original versions of that too. I'm trying to sell my back catalog out. And the 4th issue is, again, hand lettered, and all 3 issues of that in 4, 5, and 6 are all recolored for the remastered trade. So again, it depends what you want. If you want something that's going to be a collectible, you'll want the original versions. And I'm selling them at a reduced price too. I'm just selling them on sale in the back catalog. And if you want the trade, you'll have that. And of course, now we're going to have the most recent issues. And I think you've seen this image long enough. So we're going to have the most recent issues in the Saga, which is the Man of Our Times. The Man of Our Times arc. All right, so let's get the cover of that here first for you to see. So this is our most recent issue, and it came out, I believe it was June. I think it was available for purchase. And again, all these books, you can get them from my website if you look up the link in the description below. I'd be more than happy to send you an autographed copy if possible, if you get in touch on the website page where the email is, the contact us page, I guess it's called. And we'll be happy to try to make that happen as well. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the next issue out, which is what I wanted to do before doing an appearance. But unfortunately, I'll address this quickly, but I've had nothing but trouble with my computer. I've had nothing but trouble with the pens that I had that were working with my computer, and they're not working now. So I'm trying to get another pen in, and it's been taking me weeks because apparently it's lost in the mail. And I've been waiting for this pen to show up so I can get to work. And unfortunately, it's not showing up. So what I got to do is wait and see if it shows up. And, they've given me, Amazon has given me the deadline of the 29th. And if the pen doesn't come by the 29th, I can ask for a refund, which again doesn't help my situation. But again, I've been on this holding pattern that I can't really seem to break out of. So unfortunately, until that happens, I'm not being able to work on the book. We also have, before we get into talking about the issue at hand, we're still offering the commemorative armbands, the black armbands like Superman's death. We're going to give a package of those, of course, available for you for like $20. If you want the commemorative one, you'll get all 3 issues, and you'll get the commemorative armband. You'll get a limited edition uh, picture of Carrot Top that I drew, just 25 available of them, just 20 available armbands. And, with every purchase, I'm always going to throw in some stickers and a magnet. So you've got a lot to look forward to when you come see me. And, we try to do the best we can also to accommodate you if you're going to send away through the website. So make sure you check that out. All right. So, Man of Our Times. Another thing I have to also point out, we have the global comics. We've got the whole saga up at this point, except the 2 issues in this arc. Now, every 7th of the month, we release a new issue. Well, not a new issue, but one that's already out, but one that hasn't been put on global comics. So you can read the whole Death of Bullets Bourbon arc on global comics right now if you belong to that. You can purchase the digital copies there as well, or you can go to Indie Planet where you can get the hard copy, which is what I would prefer you do. I don't really like digital comics. I prefer the old-fashioned way, but I make them available because you've got to cover all avenues. And I think that in this case, people worry about like piracy and stuff, and I am concerned about that too. But I don't really think anybody's going to be pirating these books anytime soon. I mean, we're not talking about an Eric July situation or something here. So I make them available digitally, and that's an option for you if you want. Indie Planet, they make the comics available for purchase, but they have been so slow in their offerings and listing them on Indie Planet that's why I've taken to Global Comics, because I can print out a copy and give you a paper copy if you want before Indie Planet puts it up, because it takes them 6 months. And in the same case, if you want a digital copy, I'm going to try to make them available about a month or so after the paper copies come out, as soon as I can get them up. So issue number 10 will be out September 7th. Now, there's a feature where you can read them early. You can read them up to 14 days early. I set them for 10 days early, which is why I always like try to make a little delay, because you can get these perks if you're a contributor and donate to my Global Comics page, and you can read the books about 10 days early. So it's not quite 10 days now, but if you go to Global Comics and you leave a donation, within a couple of days, you'll be able to see Get the Let Out, which is the first part of the Man of Our Times arc. So go in and check that out now, and you'll have that to look forward to. And finally, we'll have this issue, Man of Our Times, up October 7th, which will be right in time for Halloween. And, Pencil Neck has always been kind of the frightening villain of the Bullets Bourbon universe. Although the General, I think, will give him a run for his money. And we showed the trailer for that at the beginning of the show. Can't wait to do that episode. I'm going to do a cover reveal for the 12th issue pretty soon. We'll probably do that in a couple of weeks, maybe next month, maybe the month after. I'm not sure, but we are going to get that new the next issue out pretty soon, because right now we're trying to focus on selling Man of Our Times, but we've got to get the last issue in the arc, get the promotion up for that pretty soon, because it, like I said, is going to be worked on as soon as I can get to it. But Man of Our Times, we'll talk about the story arc right now. What happens in this storyline is, if you had seen When the Night Comes, Carrot Top and Pencil Neck team up. And in that team up, Bullets has to go to bat for the country, because the plot of theirs is global domination in order to save the country. So Bullets is pressed into service by a secret service agency, a top secret agency, who put him undercover, and he manages to foil the scheme, and in the process, he uses a top secret formula, if you will, that eliminates Pencil Neck's powers to erase, which is his, you know, that's his main weapon, of course, his cranium, which he can use to erase people. Now, after that story arc, we had the family jewels, which carries on with what happens with Carrot Top. But now we are returning to Pencil Neck, and he's released from prison as a supposedly sane and powerless individual. Now, it's really funny to see how, in this case, Pencil Neck, as we see in the background there, sort of lurking in the shadows, is Dr. Chrome Dome. And he is the mad scientist, because every comic book series has to have a mad scientist. He's the mad scientist that Pencil Neck seeks out to try to restore his powers to erase. But even though he's mad as a March hare, as Bullets refers to him, he has a plan here. He doesn't want to show his hand too quickly. And we'll try to show some more images here. So he's trying to win over the people of Stark City by trying to present himself as a good guy, as a humanitarian, as a good Samaritan. And here we see him holding up or foiling a bank holdup as a bank robber comes in here and tries to hold up the bank president, Mr. Flanagan, I believe his name is. And Pencil Neck's not going to have any of that. He's the new benefactor of Stark City. Now, unfortunately, Bullets knows that things are not always as they seem. And he feels that he doesn't trust Pencil Neck, and he feels that he is still revenge-minded. And Desiree Miller, who was the object of Bullet's affection in When the Night Comes, that story arc, she is sort of a pop princess and, a singer and entertainer. And Bullets got it bad for her, but she unfortunately didn't feel the same way about him. But she was involved in the plot that took Pencil Neck's power. And so, of course, Bullet suspects that Pencil Neck is going to be revenge-minded on her as well. And apparently, from all clues provided, that seems to be the case. Now, many crafty and devious clues are left at the scene of Desiree's abduction, as well as Bullet's friends, Chubby and Joe Thursday, as they're gone missing, along with Dr. Stewart as well. Bullet's two friends here, Officers Harris and Ford, they come and try to help him out with the investigation. They find many clues. And again, that's the reason why I don't want to show the cover of the next issue. It kind of already tells you what the clues mean. And I want people to read this book and to see if they can figure it out by the end of the book, what the clues are leading to. This is one of them, a trumpet. What does that mean? What does that mean at the site of Dr. Stewart's disappearance? What does a trumpet have to do with Dr. Stewart's disappearance? Well, you have to put the clues together along with Bullets and find out. I really wanted to, in this issue, showcase Bullets' detective skills and his sleuthing ability. I don't really do that much, because the concept of being a private eye, you think it's like people come to you for help and you got to figure out a mystery and you find out what the problem is. It's difficult to do that in a comic book, because what we're doing here is obviously, the villain is Pencil Neck. The villain's going to be Carrot Top. There's no real mystery on who the villain is. You just got to figure out what he's done with his victims, where he's put them, and what the danger to them is. And that's kind of what I leaned into to do this story, to try to make sure that there was some kind of mystery that would challenge his skills as a detective. And again, it's being a private eye. He should be having clients, so to speak, but he doesn't, because he's basically helping his friends in the police force to capture these wanted felons. And in a way, he's doing this as well because he's offering his services to protect Desiree because he's so smitten with her. So in a sense, this is also playing to the fact that he is working to help someone and do a case that's not just for the public good, as most of his cases are. So this is a little bit different, and that's why I thought this was an important story, because the stakes are kind of smaller here. It's just Bullet's friends. There's no trying to take over the world. There's no trying to take over the city. And Bullets gets help from many different sources. In one case, he has to go to Iggy Duke, who is the Stark City news hound. You know, he's the guy on the news every night, and he's telling everybody the stories, and he's the one covering the case of Pencil Neck being a humanitarian and so on and so forth. And Bullets has to go to him to try to seek out the final clue, because although he has these clues that he's found, he has to put them together, and he has to figure out the through line, and he's going to find that out once he checks out whatever he's checking out here. I think I revealed it on Twitter. I can say he's looking at an interview that Duke did with Pencil Neck, and that's going to provide the tying in factor that's going to present him with the solution, putting all the clues together. And another character that was on the cover that I want to point out in this story is Thelma Hoffman. Thelma is a wealthy hairdresser to the stars. And by happenstance, Pencil Neck comes upon her in his crusade to do good and so forth. And they strike up a good friendship, a very close friendship. And, you know, it's not really, it doesn't take much to figure out that he strikes up this friendship with her because she's very wealthy. And she's also, well, let's put it very plainly, very homely. And she's in she's in need of a boyfriend. And so he kind of fills that void in her life in the same way that she provides the needed funds for him to carry out this nefarious revenge scheme. And, you know, her part to play in this, she's not completely an innocent as well. So it's interesting to see that work out. I didn't have a female henchman. Well, I had Veronica in the Family Jewels story arc. But in that case, you don't really know what side she's going to side with. Is she going to side with Carrot Top? Is she going to side with Bullets Bourbon? That was the point of her as a character. She wasn't just the simple henchman, but did you expect her to turn the tables on Carrot Top at some point? Did you expect her to, you know, fulfill her duties to Carrot Top, her malevolent master, and try to capture Bullets Bourbon for him? That was the big question there. In this case, it's a little bit different. I also, like I said before, I think I mentioned before, I created Thelma as a way to challenge myself because, you know, as I've said before, the greatest joy that an artist gets is to draw a beautiful woman. And there really is no joy in drawing a homely woman. And I had to challenge myself and say, look, if I had to draw a homely woman for a full issue where she figures into, you know, half, maybe 3/4 of it, could I do that for page after page and not get bored or not get frustrated? Because it's fun to draw the action. It's fun to draw the intrigue. It's fun to draw the humor. It's fun to draw the beautiful women. But when I have to draw a homely woman, how is that going to go? And I think I pulled it off admirably. And as I said before, you know, there's a lot of inspiration for this character, I think, in many sources. It seems obvious, you know, she's kind of a cross between Olive Oil and maybe Marge Simpson. And Sandra Bernhard, I think, was the face that I was kind of going for. And I tried to come up with what I thought was some of the more unattractive features on some of those characters and threw them together. And basically, we got Thelma. So it's been fun. It's been fun to do. It's fun because, again, we're not politically correct in the Bullets Bourbon universe, so we're allowed to make fun of people's appearances. We're allowed to crack jokes that she's homely. We're allowed to crack jokes that Chubby's overweight. You know what I mean? Those are the kind of things that we could laugh at when I was a kid. In the 80s and the 90s, if someone was homely, you can make a joke about it. If someone was fat, you could say they were fat. In this day and age, you can't get away with any of this. It's, everybody's feelings are going to be hurt, and everybody's beautiful, even if your eyes tell you otherwise. I mean, I get the sense of it's okay if we poke fun. We're not trying to be mean. You know what I mean? There's a difference between being mean spirited and poking fun, and I think everybody does it. And in this world, the Bullets Bourbon world, we do it frequently. Okay, so a couple more images here before I let you go, but I want to show this scene, which is my favorite scene in the book, where Bullets Bourbon confronts Pencil Neck at Pencil Neck's very posh supper club. And that's another thing that I like about Bullets Bourbon, is that he's not a goody-goody. You know what I mean? There's a sense where you can push him too far. And I think that comes basically from the 80s shows that I watched. I mean, when you look at Knight Rider, the A-Team, even The Flash, which I always say was a big inspiration for me, the Flash TV show from the 90s. A lot of action heroes from that period. I mean, you maybe even be able to go back as far as like maybe Captain Kirk in a sense too. But they were men of action, and when push come to shove, they weren't going to take any guff for long. So when Pencil Neck is not taking him seriously and he's questioning him about the disappearance of his friends, he loses his temper a little bit. He's prone to doing that sometimes. He's not going to play around with the devil. He wants the truth, and he wants it now, and he's not going to accept anything less than the truth. And of course, Pencil Neck, he's still mad as a March hare, as I said, and he's really not going to play along with Bullets. Bullets is not going to play along with him, I guess I should say. And this is what I call my trailer quote. There's always every story should have like a good quote that you could, put on the trailer and get people to sort of like, get excited about the story. And so this was my trailer quote, which is Pencil Neck, before throwing Bullets out of his supper club, says, "What if I became the lawman and you became the lunatic?" And so the idea is he's trying to outsmart Bullets, and he's trying to beat him in his own game. He's trying to become what he is. He's trying to be looked at as a hero in the eyes of the people. And he's trying to make Bullets look bad. He's trying to make Bullets look like a lunatic. And again, I think in a way, this really, when you have good fiction, it should be holding up a mirror to, to society, to the real life, so to speak. And I think that's kind of what your enemies do try to do to you. They try to make you look like the unhinged one. They try to make you look like the one that's crazy, when they're the ones that are trying to undo you. And, it only works if you let them. It only works if you can't outsmart them at their own game. And in this case, Bullets is dangerously close to like losing that battle, until he has to like smarten up and realize, I got to use my wits about this. I can't just get angry. And that's kind of what makes him a hero, is he doesn't just lose himself to emotions. He has the intellect to figure out the mystery if he can apply himself. Now, he was trying to do it the easy way, which is just sort of beat it out of Pencil Neck. But he knows that he has the intelligence to figure this out, and he just has to apply himself. So again, this is a great storyline. We've got a great story arc going here, and we're going to have the second part up for your perusal in October. This issue, which is called Man of Our Times. And like I said, in a few short days, we'll have the first part of the story up on Global Comics for your entertainment value. And hopefully you'll enjoy it. And like I said, this is the end of the first season. We're calling this the end of the first season. And the reason why is I kind of envision it as, 5 stories, 13 issues. That encompasses one season. This season, we pretty much looked at, pencil neck, carrot top, and a combination of the two. We're going to have a lot more interesting stuff in the second season. We're going to have a lot of new villains. We're going to have a couple recurring villains. We'll talk about that more in the next book that comes out, the next issue that completes this arc. We'll look forward to the second season. But I'm really thrilled about how this season came out. I'm really thrilled about how this story arc is coming along. Again, I've got issues already planned for all of the second season and probably half of the third season at this point. So Bullets Bourbon isn't going anywhere, even though we're saying we're coming to the end of a season. We're still going to be in this. I'm in this for the long haul. I've got a lot of stories left to tell, and hopefully, God willing, I'll have the strength and health to do it and the financial remunerations to do it. So if you can help that cause by picking up a couple issues, and again, like I said, you won't regret it. We've only gotten better as we've gone along. I mean, I've had people tell me that in the past, that basically the series is getting better as it's going on. And, it's because everybody has to start somewhere, and you have to learn on the job. And I'm no different. I had to learn how to do computer coloring and computer lettering. And, my drawing style has, improved somewhat as the books have gone on. You have to get used to that and learn all the tricks and the techniques. So, again, thank you for checking out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. Thank you for being here with us on the only way to spend your Saturday here with us on the Johnny Torch Live program. Please check out the link in the description below for our website, and you can peruse any of these issues, and you'll find the link to Indie Planet there. You'll find the link to Global Comics, where you can check out the books. You will find our dates written down for the Delusions of Grandeur 2023 Johnny Torch Appearance Tour. I will have them those dates up as soon as possible. And again, we will try to get a more frequent a schedule going with these videos. Hopefully I can get to Blue Beetle at this time next week. It's possible, not probable, but if I can't see that up in theaters and I have to see that in video, probably expect that a couple of months from now. But we will try to hang in there and find some more comments to talk about. And until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.